Take your seats. Good evening. It's October 21st, 2014. And good evening, and thank you for watching. We'll move into approval of the minutes. The regular minutes ask for a motion for the approval of regular minutes of September 16th, 2014.
Council President, I ask for approval of minutes of September 16, 2014, and seek a second.
Chris, hold on.
Second.
Council President, I ask that we cancel and do our pledge of allegiance and whatnot.
Okay, I'd like to table that motion.
Can we just pass the motion, then resume our business? To
Jim, let's...
flag and flare salute.
Excuse me. Notice this meeting stating date, time, and place has been disseminated as required in the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. This meeting is called to order. Mr. Clerk, please conduct the prayer and flag salute.
God of the universe, look thou with favor upon these here assembled, and bestow thy guidance upon the members of the governing body in their deliberations. This we ask in thy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. In the event of emergency, the proper method for exiting the council chambers through the 3 rear doors. Occupants should proceed down the staircase out the front door, move away from the area of the front steps. Any member of the public wishing to speak during the public comment session at the end of the meeting, please sign in on the white sheets provided in the front of the room. Please turn off all cell phones or place them in vibrate. If you must take a call, leave the council chambers to do so. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Kalbas.
Here.
Byer.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Armstead.
Here.
Cosby Hurling.
Here.
Sadowski.
Here.
Minichinko.
Here.
Yamakaitis.
Here.
Medina.
Here.
Kaczynski.
Here.
Mr. Moore.
Here. I ask for a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting for September 16th of 2014.
Council President, I ask for approval of the minutes of September 16, 2014, and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas.
Yes.
Byer.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Minichinko.
Yes.
Yamakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. We have 2 presentations this evening. I'll ask the mayor to step down to the podium, and we're going to honor Stephanie Diaz as the first female police officer. Would you please come forward?
It's always an honor, especially as the mayor and the head of the Linden Police Department, to recognize individuals that are firsts in whatever they do. And Officer Diaz is our first Hispanic female officer in the city of Linden. And I'm proud to say that our city has a police department that's truly representative of the community. We have a very diverse community, and we also have a very diverse police department. And Officer Diaz was one of the first females, along with being the first Hispanic female in the Linden Police Department. So we're going to recognize Officer Stephanie Diaz at this time. And I'd like Councilman Medina to read this resolution passed by myself and the City Council in general for Officer Stephanie Diaz.
Good evening, everyone. All right. Whereas September 15 to October 15 is designated as National Hispanic Heritage Month to celebrate the histories, culture, and contributions of American citizens whose ancestors came from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, and Central and South America. And whereas Linden Police Officer Stephanie Diaz was born in Newark, New Jersey, of Puerto Rican heritage and is proud of her Hispanic heritage. And whereas Officer Diaz graduated from Technology High School of Newark, New Jersey, and went to attend Essex County College. And whereas Officer Diaz's commitment to public service was inspired by her father, Felix Diaz, a member of the Newark Police Department who retired as a detective of narcotics. And whereas that commitment led to her becoming a member of the Newark Police Department in 2007, where she served until she was laid off due to the economic crisis facing the city of Newark. Whereas the city of Linden hired Officer Diaz as a lateral transfer on August 27, 2011, making her Linden's first female Latino police officer. And whereas since that time, Officer Diaz, who is fluent in Spanish, has distinguished herself with her service in the patrol division on the crisis intervention team and being recognized in 2012 with an excellent police duty award. And whereas the mayor and council of the city of Linden wish to recognize Officer Diaz as Linden's first Latino police officer, her accomplishment, and hold her up as an example, proving that with hard work, anyone can realize their dreams. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the mayor and council of the city of Linden that they hereby recognize Officer Stephanie Diaz as Linden's first female Latino police officer and thank her for her outstanding and dedicated service to the residents of Linden. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be placed in the minutes of the council of the city of Linden in permanent recognition of Officer Diaz's accomplishment, and a copy to be presented to her. Thank you. Thank you, Officer Diaz. No, sure.
Congratulations, Officer Diaz. We're proud to have you. Mayor, will you stay down? And I'll ask Councilwoman Yamakaitis and Councilwoman Cosby-Hurling for the next presentation for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Ms. Anderson? Nancy Gomes?
She said you're gonna look pretty. I'm gonna acknowledge Nancy. You wanna read your press release first? Good evening, everyone. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and for the past 4 years, we have been acknowledging breast cancer survivors. And this year, our city employee took the initiative, Nancy Gomes, and she organized an event that was held out on City Hall steps. This lovely bow was done, and it was donated by the House of Flowers. But we want to just, call you up and say thank you for, your initiative and thinking outside the box, It's a statement that was published, and Councilwoman Yamakan is going to read that. But Nancy, we appreciate you, and thank you for a job well done this week.
The press release reads, "The city of Linden is tougher than cancer." For the first time ever, Mayor Grabunka, City Council, and various City of Linden employees went pink in support of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This was a group effort. Linden Municipal Airport Manager Paul Dudley donated breast cancer awareness pins. Mrs. Marie Gregorio, owner of House of Flowers, donated a beautiful pink ribbon wreath. The Lavatoro family, owner of Amici 3 in Linden, donated a dinner for two gift certificate for one lucky supporter. Metro Liquors donated an awesome gift basket. City employees wearing pink is a powerful statement, supporting the fighters admiring the survivors, honoring the taken, and never giving up hope. And we are proud of our organizer, Nancy Gomes.
You wanna say something? Say something, and I'm gonna give you a certificate, but you know you were gonna be here, so
No.
just say something.
It is my pleasure to bring awareness to my fellow employees and the entire city, and I feel privileged to work for such a great town.
That was nice.
Thank you.
You can hear me. At this time, I would like to call up our honoree, our survivor for this year, Linden resident, wonderful woman. We're going to ask that you please come up, Jerusha Anderson, so that we might recognize your strength and your survival with the resolution. So it gives me great pleasure as Jerusha, who we affectionately call Lainey, is part of my extended family. And when we heard about her diagnosis, it was heartbreaking. So this year, we're going to celebrate her survival and her strength and courage. And we're going to read the resolution. The resolution is honoring Jerusha Elaine Anderson as a breast cancer survivor. Whereas every 69 seconds, somewhere in the world, a woman dies of breast cancer. Every 3 minutes, a woman in the United States is diagnosed with breast cancer. And every 13 minutes, a woman loses her battle with the disease. And whereas worldwide, breast cancer is the most frequently diagnosed life-threatening cancer in women and the leading cause of cancer death among women, and whereas increased public awareness and improved screening have led to earlier diagnoses, and the survival rate of breast cancer has improved significantly. And whereas, I'm going to say Lainey, Anderson was diagnosed with breast cancer February 2014, and whereas for the next several months, she endured the rigors of chemotherapy and is still undergoing total reconstruction, breast reconstruction. Whereas Lainey is a proud mother of Abdel Rashid and Brianna Elaine, and whereas Lainey Anderson is celebrating her victory over stage 2 breast cancer and is in remission, being free on this day, October 21st, 2014, of cancer. And whereas the month of October has been declared Breast Cancer Awareness Month nationwide. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the City of Linden, we recognize Jerusha Anderson for her courage in fighting this disease and wish to thank her for her willingness to help other newly diagnosed women as they begin their journey to recovery. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be placed in the minutes of the City Council of Linden and be appropriately presented to Jerusha Anderson. God bless you, and I'm glad that you are a survivor. And that we can celebrate you tonight.
Thank you, and God bless everyone. I just want to say thank you for not only on behalf of myself, but all other survivors. Thank you. Thank you, Gretchen. God bless you.
Oh, we gotta take a picture.
Thank you, everyone. We're moving to ordinance, so we're continued from the meeting of September 16th, 2014. This is the date and time established for the continuation of a public hearing for ordinance 58-59. Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
Just the communication that I read last month from the planning board on it, approving it.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the chambers wish to be heard on the ordinance? Seeing none, I ask for a motion.
Mr. President, I'd like to table motion ordinance number 58-59 till the October meeting, and I seek a second.
Second.
May I just, that would be the November meeting.
November meeting, November.
Mr. Colvis?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. We're moving into ordinance on hearings. This is the date and time established for public hearings on ordinance on hearing. Ordinance 5860.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 27, Special Improvement District shall be amended as follows. Delete Section 27-5, Assessments in its entirety. Add new Section 27-5, Assessments as follows. The annual added assessment shall not exceed .0025 of the total assessment through December 31st, 2014, and as of January 1, 2015, the annual added assessment shall be increased so not to exceed .005 cents of the total assessment.
Mr. Clerk, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Does anyone in chambers wish to be heard on the ordinance? Seeing none, I ask for a motion.
Council President asks for a motion to pass ordinance 58-60 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
No. 5861, please.
Bond ordinance amending Bond Ordinance 55-12, finally adopted by the City Council of the City of Linden on March 15, 2011, as amended.
Has the ordinance been properly posted and published?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Does anyone in the chambers wish to be heard on the ordinance? Would you please come up, please? State your name.
Diane Wilverding, 6th Ward. It says here for the closure of the Linden landfill. Is this the monitoring, or are we ever going to really be closed with this?
Mr. Brown?
Me? I think the best person to explain it would be either the chairman of the landfill or the engineer, as far as the current situation with the landfill.
This is Zach.
This bond ordinance is pertaining to certain items that occurred at our last landfill meeting. There was some flaring issues that had to be addressed, as well as some other engineering items that came up at our landfill committee meeting. The bond ordinance that we had originally done for the closure of the landfill had to be amended, and that's what this bond ordinance does. It amends the original closure, and it's continuing to fulfill the duties of the landfill. Because it's come up over years about this closure, and it seems a lot of it is the monitoring of the gases and all that. And as I've said before, I really think this is something that we could save money in hiring and training our own engineers and adding to the engineering department, because this amount for this dump is just, as you know, it's so huge. It's almost $2 million. And I know EPA is strong, and they do their good stuff, but this is really killing us. And if there is some way that we can look into this to save our city some money, and hiring and training engineers and adding to our department, because this will be continually have to be monitored, correct, for the gases that are released as things decompose. And instead of always hiring outside, let's have our own people know how to do this and train them. So that is one of my suggestions to save the city money.
Thank you very much. Councilman Minichenko.
Also, that includes not only monitoring the gases, Mrs. Wilmerding, but also there was some soil erosion, so we had to have contractors come in and and remediate some of the soil erosion. So that was part of the cost also.
Further comments? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion, please.
Council President, I ask for a motion to approve ordinance 5861. I seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichinko?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5862, Mr. Clerk.
An ordinance to amend an ordinance entitled, an ordinance establishing a schedule of titles, salary ranges, and regulations for the maintaining the classification and salary standardization plan of all employees of the City of Linden, passed August 15, 1995, and approved August 16, 1995. Add 4II-6, Supervising Parking Enforcement Officer.
Thank you. Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Does anyone in the chambers wish to be heard on the ordinance? Have a motion, please?
Yes, Council President, I make a motion to adopt 58-62, and I seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
No.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichinko?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5863.
An ordinance authorizing the acquisition of an undedicated road adjacent to and abutting the properties identified on the tax maps as Block 587, lots 19, 20, and 21 for public use.
Has this ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any communication?
No, sir.
Is there anyone in the chambers wish to be heard on the ordinance? Seeing none, I ask for a motion.
Mr. Council President, I'd like to make a motion to accept ordinance 5863 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichinko?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5864, please.
A bond ordinance to provide funding for the acquisition of an undedicated road adjacent to and abutting the properties on the tax maps as Block 587, lots 19, 20, and 21 for public use.
Has this ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Anyone in the chambers wish to be heard on this ordinance? Have a motion, please?
Council President, make a motion for the passage of ordinance 58-64 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichinko?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Thank you. We'll move into the consent agenda. All items listed with asterisk are considered to be routine by the City Council and be acted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless council member or citizen so request. In the event that the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. We have items 1 through 7. Does anyone wish to remove an item? I ask for a motion then.
Mr. Council President, I make a motion that we accept consent items 1 to 7. Seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichinko?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski? Mr. Moore?
Yes. Thank you all. We'll move into committee reports. Yes, Councilman Kalabas, do you have a report for us this evening?
Thank you, Council President. From the Office of City Clerk, the following licenses, permits, and transcripts issued in the City Clerk's office during the month of September 2014, and fees received have been turned over to the Municipal Treasurer of the City of Linden. City revenue, 369 total transactions. City revenue, a total of $5,838.73. State revenue, $675, with a grand total of $6,513.73. Also from the city clerk's office and the license inspector's office, the city clerk's licensing division is submitting this monthly report for the month of September 2014. This office issued 60 dog licenses and 127 miscellaneous licenses and collected $6,233. From the engineering committee, 8 streets were paved this month. Tremley Point Road is delayed because of water company work. Work will start in November of 2014 from our state aid streets, which includes DeWitt Street, DeWitt Terrace, Elmwood Terrace, East Curtis Street, Middlesex Street, and Park Avenue. The water company will start final pavement restorations in the next 2 weeks on all their work in wards 4 through 8. First ward note, any person with a request or concern can be reached at 908-925-5568. And with Halloween coming up, I just want to make sure that if you are, hopefully you're escorting your children door to door for trick-or-treating, just be aware the day is getting shorter and it gets dark early, so just make sure you keep an eye on the children and the speeding cars and just walking around. And that concludes my report, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Byer?
Yes, Mr. President. In construction code, the office has issued 138 permits and 20 certificates for the month of September. The construction code handed over to the Finance Department, $56,102. Yes, in the lighting department here, I have a request for a street light on Smith Street, pole number 63738. Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we put a street light at this post. Can I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
And one more thing, LindenTV, that committee, back in, 8 months ago, I've been trying to get Linden High School sports, me and Councilman Peter Brown on LindenTV. And it's been a long process, but finally, we have in our hands some footage, some tapes of soccer and football. In about 1 or 2 weeks, Monday nights and Wednesday nights, it'll be the sports will be viewed on LindenTV. That's it for my report, and that's it, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Brown?
Thank you, Council President. From the Finance and Budget Review Committee, approval is requested for the following finance actions. The payment of bills totaling $1,695,622.98. The bills have been signed by the Mayor, Council President, and Finance Chairman, and a detailed check, register, and vouchers are on file in the clerk's office. Item number 2, in the Department of Finance, the approval was given for the CFO to submit the best practices worksheet to the Division of Local Government Services by the October 17th, 2014 deadline. I move for approval and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
That's my end of report, Council.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Armstead?
Yes, Mr. President. I don't really have any reports this evening, but I did want to talk a little bit about an ordinance we passed a little early this evening with regards to the Special Improvement District. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, a Special Improvement District is an area that is designated by a town where the city will assess properties, additional money for various improvements in that location. Often, the assessment can be used for additional policing. It could be used for a number of things. Since we began developing things in town, particularly the Aviation Plaza, it has been consuming a tremendous amount of our police resources with shoplifting. And one of the ideas that's been pushed around the state right now is redrawing the lines for special improvement districts. In our case, I think that this governing body should perhaps look at redrawing the lines of the special improvement district so they would include Aviation Plaza considering that it consumes a tremendous amount of our resources. So I'm just asking the governing body and our Personal and Finance Committee to take a good look at that and perhaps talk to some of the other towns who are utilizing SIDS for areas such as the shopping areas, so that we could perhaps increase the revenues, perhaps bring a few more police on board, so that we could free up, our police officers to address other concerns in the town. Also, just want to mention that the Halloween parade is coming up Sunday at 2 o'clock. I'd like to see all our kids there and all our residents from Linden show up. It's a nice event every year. Look forward to it. Get a chance to wave to everybody. Usually have a great time, and my kids have always enjoyed it. And last but not least, Tuesday, November 4th is Election Day. Very important day in this town. Very important day all over the country as far as I'm concerned. Few people up for office. Can't tell you who to vote for, but just go out and vote. Exercise your rights. We have a number of people who are running, and it's just a good process. I always say that in America, this is the only place we do this. No place in the world is as good as this country when it comes to settling our differences. We settle it right at the polls, and it's a good thing. So we'll see you on November 4th. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Cosby Hurling.
Thank you. I have a report from Public Property and Recreation. We actually have a couple items on the agenda tonight. One is the roof, and then we have another capital improvement, which is going to be the piping for the Public Works building. So the piping is coming from the insurance money that we got from Superstorm Sandy, and then the capital improvement is the roof for City Hall, which we desperately need. So those things are on the agenda. From Transportation and Parking, this report includes the collection of parking meters, railroad parking lots, railroad parking permits, and merchant parking permits for the month of September. The grand total is $85,792.63, and this was submitted by Tyrone Gibbons, the Transportation and Parking Supervisor. There are a lot of good things happening in our ward. I have a great deal of traffic follow-up, but I'm not going to give all the details. I've been asked to kind of shorten my report, so I will shorten the report. If you want to get the information before the council meeting or as the information becomes available when we are doing things in the 5th Ward, feel free to email me at the city email, rcosbyhurling@linden-nj.org. I also have a Facebook page where I give regular updates on things that we are working on in the 5th Ward. But I do want to mention one item that was very important to my neighbors in District 2. Adams and Dill is a high-traffic area. This area has seen its number of accidents over the past 2 years, and we will finally have tonight on introduction an ordinance that will give us a little bit of relief, which is a 4-way stop sign. So that's on for first reading tonight, and I hope that the other council members will support that. We have bulk waste collection tomorrow. We have District 5 and District 8 in the 5th Ward. So you can check the city website and see what street you're on and which district you fall in, because our ward has 2 separate districts. Even though we're a 5th Ward, we have different collection schedules for parts of the ward. And Councilman Armstead mentioned the Halloween parade, but I do want to mention an event that happens for the last couple of years. It's grown, and this year it's still going to be put on by George Alvarez on East Curtis. Or is that East Henry? East Curtis? Okay. It's on East Curtis. It's going to be on Friday, Halloween evening, starting at 6 o'clock. We go every year, and I'm excited, for the event this year, in addition to the parade. So if you can't stop by, the street will be closed, so it'll be a little safer, less congestion with the traffic. And the election is November 4th. I already voted. If you're interested at all in voting early, consider going to the county clerk's office and vote. You can vote tomorrow. They have weekend hours. You don't have to wait in line or be confused at the polling location. But I do encourage everyone to please vote and vote for the interest of the city of Linden. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Sadowski.
Thank you, Council President. Just a few things. If you noticed in the 6th Ward on Wood Avenue, the apartment building next to School 6 is going up quite rapidly. It's It's a very difficult situation for the school right there. I want to congratulate the principal, Mrs. Perkins, all the teachers, and the students and parents for what they have to put up. It's a safety hazard with the cars and so on, and it's a noise hazard. I go there about once a week to check on it, and they're putting up with it. Also, I have to give credit to, there's a few crossing guards who do a beautiful job of protecting the children. Please let me mention their names. We have Alberto Perez, Rita Roper, Rick Garvey, and Linda Thomas. They're out there, whether it's nice, rain, or whatever it is, and they do take care of the children. So once again, thanks to the parents, the children, the principal, and the crossing guards, things are going smoothly. Second part, on Smith and Hampton Streets, that's where we have the oil train coming in. The residents there not only have the airplanes coming over, now they have the oil tank train. If you have any problems, please, this was the number that was given out by Norfolk Southern Corporation. It is 717-319-6870. Michael Pheasant. He takes all complaints any time of night or day, 1 o'clock in the morning, 2, whatever it is, give him a call and explain what it is. Coming up this week on Thursday, if you notice on Linden Avenue in the 6th Ward, there is a lot of progress on the Legacy Commerce Center warehouse complex. On Thursday at 11 o'clock, they are having a ribbon-cutting ceremony. And the warehouse is huge, so this is just the start of new, I guess, business coming into Linden. As mentioned before, Halloween is coming up. Please be careful with the children. Mrs. Cosby mentioned four-way stops. I am trying to get one in the 6th Ward up by Smith Street. We will go through the regular process, whether we get it or not, but it's the start of it. And like I said, don't forget, please vote. If you have any problems, the other question someone kept asking me is, when are they getting garbage, leave bags, excuse me. As soon as I get them or find out when you can, I will let you know. And like I said last time, give me a call. I'll put you down on a list. When I do get the bags, I will drop them off at your house. If you need anything, please give me a call at 908-862-0749. And have a nice holiday. That concludes my list.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Minichenko?
Thank you, Council President. I'll also be brief. I have no committee reports, but as liaison to the Shady Tree Commission, I'd just like to mention, pretty soon they're going to start doing their fall planting. And if you do get a tree, they have a major concern, that grass is still growing, and you weed whack around a tree, please use your guard, because what happens is the wire or the string from the weed whacker, it damages the bark of the tree, and eventually the tree will not make it. So please be considerate with that. Also, as Councilman Sadowski mentioned about the oil train, that's a big issue with me and him. I've been getting a lot of complaints about the train whistle, all hours of the night, all hours of the morning. Unfortunately, there is nothing we can do about that at this moment. We're waiting for the New Jersey DOT to put up the safety gates and the flashing lights and everything like that, and then eventually we can put in for a quiet zone designation. The reason we can't do it now, because if we put it in for a quiet zone designation, it's a pass without the gates, the city has full liability, God forbid if there was an accident. So right now, we're waiting on the NJDOT, and they're kind of dragging their feet right now. We keep pushing them. I call Michael Neeson about it all the time and whatnot. And Ms. Wilmington, getting back to the being a landfill chairman, and the God's honest truth, that landfill used to generate millions of dollars per year. I mean, millions of dollars per year. And past administrations, instead of putting money aside, knowing that for the next 35 years or knowing that the closure was coming up, they spent the money on garbage trucks and employees and this and that. And that's the God's honest truth. So I believe if they would have put more money away in years past when that landfill was generating all this money, we wouldn't be in a situation we are right now. But unfortunately, we are. And there's really nothing we can do to 2013 to when we have to monitor it. With that being said, if there's any concerns in the 7th Ward, you can reach me at 908-862-6265, or you can email me at mminarchenko@linden-nj.org. End of report, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Yamakaitis.
Thank you, Mr. President. From the Fire Department, the Fire Prevention Bureau collected a total of $4,760.75 for the month of September 2014. The Eighth Ward report, yesterday there was a chemical leak of ethyl aluminum dichloride at the Infinium plant located on Bayway Refinery. I spoke to officials in the refinery and the police to find out why a reverse 911 phone call was not placed to the residents of the Eighth Ward. I was told that the system was not implemented because the leak was contained to the refinery and there was no danger to residents despite conflicting information being given out on local news channels. We discussed this in caucus last night, and I will be following up with the company officials to be sure that the residents of the 8th Ward receive an official notification under all circumstances, good or bad, to avoid any future miscommunications. The refinery has also requested to have a meeting with the residents and city emergency personnel to go over what it means to shelter in place and to plan for any other storms or emergencies that hopefully will never happen in the future. We will be planning that in the very near future, so I will be putting out flyers when we have that scheduled. Our engineering department informed me that the Park Avenue Bridge will be repaved in mid-November, so the lines will be painted and potholes repaired. So they are not planning to shut down the entire bridge. They're going to do half the bridge and the other half, so just please be aware of any traffic detours. Also, the repaving of Chandler Avenue will be postponed until next spring. We have to go and rebid that project. McGilvery and Bachelor Parks are still under construction for the new playground equipment. The crews are currently working in there, so please do not let your children play in the area where there's construction going on. The mayor will be mentioning tonight about the traffic study for the missing link in Goethals Bridge interchange project. I received a few inquiries as to when the next meeting will be. It is scheduled for this coming Monday, October 27th, at the Linden Public Library. The mayor will be giving you more information during his report. And I have also been asked by FOLIS, or Friends of Linden Animal Shelter, to announce that they will be having an Applebee's Flapjack fundraiser to support FOLIS on November 8th from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. at the Linden Applebee's. For more information, please call 908-463-0050. And again, that's November 8th from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. at Linden Applebee's. And as Councilman Sadowski mentioned, I did get an update on leave bags. They do have leave bags available. So if any 8th Ward residents need leaf bags, please give me a call and I will drop them to your house. If you need to contact me, my number is 908-925-2309. Thank you, Mr. President. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Medina?
Yes, Council President, good evening, everyone. I do have a Personnel Committee report, so I'll try to be brief. Number one, in the Department of Public Properties and Community Services, the appointment of Sybil Speck as Clerk 1 at the annual salary of $34,548 prorated effective October 27, 2014. Number two, in the Police Department, the appointment of Jacqueline Williams as a Clerk 1 at the rate of $18.98 per hour, not to exceed 19 and a half hours per week, effective on the return of court personnel from approved leaves of absence. Number three, in the various city department, the approval of the following leaves of absence. A, employee 90, intermittent FMLA/NJFLA leave from 9/1/14 through 12/31/14. B, employee 6807, FMLA leave from 8/6/14 through 10/6/14. C, employee 107431, FMLA leave from 9/16/14 through 10/12/14. D, employee 131, intermittent FMLA from 10/7/14 through 12/31/14. E, employee 106919, FMLA from 10/9/14 through 11/9/14. F, employee 968, intermittent FMLA/NJFLA from 9/23/14 through 12/29/14. Number four, in the municipal court, the appointment of the following temporary clerks at the rate of $8.25 per hour, not to exceed 19 and a half hours, effective October 27, 2014. A, Tracy Jones. B, Jamie Magina. C, Jasmine Steele. D, Lakeisha Wheeler. Number 5, in the Public Property Community Services, the approval of the seasonal list on file in the city clerk's office. I'll make a motion for the approval of Personnel Committee report and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes, abstain on 3F. Yes on all, except for,
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
All right. I do have some, I didn't write down a speech or anything like that, but I do have some notes for the 9th Ward. Just want to first quickly just mention on the breast cancer awareness that we had earlier in the presentation. There were several employees that actually participated in making everything happen. So if you indulge me a bit, I just want to mention some names here. Mayor Bunka, Councilman Brown, Councilwoman Cosby Hurling, Mike Frangella, Helen Chamus, Stacy Caron, Tawanda Gasson, Carol Mirchenko, Carolyn Malanda, Barbara Favor, Wanda Verubi, Nancy Jones, Leslie McDonald, Tina Tristo, Anne-Marie Bendito, Jessica Slowinski, Lexa Zach, Margaret Minio, Kathy Finger, Diana Menzo, Jessica Cheehey, Candace Guerra, Gretchen Hickey, Marilyn Copland, Brad Creanzo, Mike Bobolski, Jen Honan, Diane McDowell, Joan Turbot, and also folks from the engineering department, and of course Nancy Gomes. So I just want to recognize those individuals because there's, a lot of them are city employees and folks that really get together and really made this thing happen. So it's very important that we, for me, it was important that I mention their names because again, it's important. It's an important cause and an important message to put out there. As mentioned earlier by Councilwoman Cosby Hurling about the four-way stop signs, we do have something in first hearing in the ordinance. We're finally going to get relief for some of the folks on DeWitt and Orchard Terrace. We're going to have a few four-way stop signs installed on DeWitt and on Orchard Terrace. I believe I have the approval of the council, and I appreciate the council's patience with me this whole year, with asking them to help me and encourage the traffic department to really look into DeWitt Terrace and Orchard Terrace and really do a hardcore study. So phase 1 is actually into effect, and hopefully once this thing gets finally adopted in November, we can move forward and really increase the public safety. As most of you guys heard, September 26th, unfortunately, a young lady with her children were crossing on Academy Terrace, and the first car stopped for them to cross on the crosswalk, but unfortunately there was an impatient driver that went around the vehicle and struck her and her 3 children. One of them were a 5.5-month-old to 6-month-old child, but they're doing well. The community kept them in prayer. The mother's doing well. She's recovering, has a few complications, but she knows the community is there to help her and anything that she needs. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. The children are doing great, especially the infant that was actually knocked out of the stroller there. But that's just one example. It was a bad day for me because I've been saying this for years, even when Bob Frazier was up here, like, Bob, we have to do something about DeWitt. It's crazy what goes on DeWitt Terrace and Orchard Terrace. It's just a straight cut-through road between St. George and Raritan. People go on the Parkway, same thing going back home. There's no respect for the law. There's no respect for the children that are coming out our 3 schools, especially McManus that sit right on DeWitt. So finally, I'm happy that we have this ordinance on the books here that we're going to be voting on a little bit later, and I'm happy that relief is coming to some of these folks. So I just wanted to just quickly mention that. And I also want to thank everyone that came out for the October 6th joint community meeting for the 9th and 10th Ward. We had a great time. We had a good turnout. We also had a friendly competition between Two Tony and Primavera. So I just want to let you guys know that Two Tony won the taste testing. I like them all. I encourage everyone to support them both and all city businesses, of course. Also, Andy Cycle donated a children's bike. And so again, just want to thank everyone that came out. And just want to mention the 3 foundations that we, myself and Adam Kaczynski donated to. The Jacqueline Wozniak Foundation, Linden Youth Soccer, and Rooting for Ray. If you guys want to know any more information about these foundations, you can always reach out to me, 908-986-6100. Besides that, have a safe and happy Halloweens. It's getting dark out there, so please be careful when you cross the road. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Medina. Councilman Kosinski.
Thank you, Council President. I will try to be brief today. First, I'd like to congratulate all those that are recognized for their firsts and their efforts and their parts of Linden, because in reality, by recognizing these people of Linden, this is what makes Linden, Linden, and it's always something we should take pride in, recognizing our fellow citizens and employees and survivors and everyone else who has the effort in Linden. So I'd just like to congratulate them as well. Secondly, I'd like to make some announcements from the Friends of the Linden Library. They will be selling the Lord and Taylor passes for the library this weekend from 4:30 to 8:30 on Monday, this Wednesday, tomorrow, and then on Monday, October 27th from 4:30 to 8:30, and the day of the event, Wednesday, October 29th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And also, this Wednesday is the last day they can be purchased online. And the Motion Credit Union on Wood Avenue also has allowed the Friends to sell the passes at their location this Friday, October 24th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Friends need to sell 50 passes over the counter to actually receive the percentage of the profits from this event. So please, if you plan on shopping at Lord & Taylor, if you plan on shopping anywhere for any kind of gifts, consider this, and please pick up one of these passes. The Friends will also be having a book sale at the library November 12th to November 15th with varying times. The 12th is for Friends only, but then Thursday on the 13th it's from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Friday, November 14th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday, November 15th is Bag Day from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and bags are $4. And the last day to donate books is Monday, November 10th. So please, the Linden Library is a big part of the city of Linden, and it's a place where I spent a lot of time. I know a lot of students and individuals and residents benefit from it. So if you plan on, like I said, making any purchases, or if you have any extra books or anything like that, please consider them, and always you can reach out to me if these announcements went a little too fast for you, and I'll be happy to fill you in. Secondly, I'd like to say we were meeting with the police department and various school officials for the traffic issues regarding School 10, School 9. We're still working on it. It's not going to be easy answers, but everybody has been very receptive on every end, and I'm hopeful that we can find some kind of common ground to keep the students safe and the residents free of concern. And also, I would just like to mention, as everybody said, with the lawn bags, trees, and all that, you can reach out to me. Lawn bags, as soon as I have some more, I'll pass them out. And with the trees, we'll put you on the list again. They're coming back around, so if you called me already, you're on the list. Hopefully, when they come back around, we'll be able to get them done for you. Other than that, I'd like to say happy Halloween. Please be safe. It is getting dark out there, as everybody said. Please be safe if you have a child. If you don't have a child, it's still an important holiday to a lot of people, so please be careful out there on that day. That concludes my report, Mr. Council President. Before I conclude, let me just give my number and email address just in case you want to pick up one of those announcements that I said about the library, 908-463-9234, or a.kaczynski@linden-nj.org. That concludes my report, Mr. Council President. Thank you.
And thank you. Mr. Mayor, Mayor Kabunka, you have a report for us?
Yes, I do, Council President. I thank you. I'd like to pick up where Councilwoman Yamakaitis left off in regards to the Goethals Bridge Improvement Program with the interchange of 278 meets Route 1 and 9 in the city of Linden. Just to give you a little history, going back a year and a half ago, I met with the governor and we discussed this dangerous intersection at 278 and Route 1 and 9. And I was able to convince him to give some improvements to this intersection. Well, it turned out that he decided to improve the intersection totally by having it attached to the Goethals Bridge project, which is a $1 billion new bridge being built between Staten Island and Elizabeth. And of course, the exits on that bridge go to 278. And what they're going to do at that interchange is have routes 1 and 9 north and 1 and 9 south have entrances and exits for 278. That's going to be a tremendous benefit to the public in general and specifically to the 8th Ward, because that'll get a lot of vehicles off the local streets and a lot of trucks off the local streets, because right now the only way you could enter 278 to go to Goethals Bridge or Staten Island is by going 1 and 9 north, and the only way you could exit 278 is 1 and 9 south. So both entrances and exits, and it's going to be a tremendous asset to the city of Linden, relieving a dangerous intersection and also aiding local streets with less traffic congestion, specifically the 8th Ward. But of course, with every improvement comes problems. There's going to be a whole new traffic scheme for about 4 years on 278. What they're going to have is literally build another road as a turnaround between 278 West and 278 East, and that's where they're going to divert traffic from Elizabeth so that they could get to the Gottsville Bridge. They're going to have to go west on 278, get on a new road between both of those roads, 278 West and 278 East, and then head back 278 East to the Gottsville Bridge. That's going to start at November 15th, just around the holidays, so there's going to be a lot of information and a lot of press releases by the Port Authority. So I would just, if you use those roads, be aware that there's going to be some confusion, at least for the first month. And on October 27th, in that regard, at the Linden Public Library, the 3rd floor, the Port Authority is having a public meeting to discuss about 9 different alignments of the intersectional improvement. They want public input. That's going to be, again, on a 31 East Henry Street, our new library, 3rd floor. It's going to be an open house from 5 to 8 p.m. The presentation is going to be at 5:30 p.m. and another presentation at 7 p.m. Again, they're looking for public input on the different designs for the intersection. So I would recommend, especially if you're in the 8th Ward, to go down and offer your 2 cents to the Port Authority. I also like to mention, and people don't realize, since 2011, the Linden Police Department has a Facebook page, and that's been an invaluable tool used by the police department to increase outreach to the community, let the community know what's going on with our police department and its everyday operations. So again, I would suggest you periodically check the Facebook page for the Linden Police Department, and you'll get a lot of valuable information. Also on October 27th, I'm going to be going down to Trenton. We're going to be lobbying with some of the police officers, Lieutenant Popolski in particular. We're going to be lobbying our legislatures to continue the red light cameras. Some people don't believe in the red light cameras. We have 5 red light cameras in the city of Linden. We have a fail-safe procedure where it's reviewed by police officers before a summons is issued, and if it's a close call, the police officer uses the same judgment he would use out in the street and not issue a summons. But it's also a major safety factor. We have a unique situation in Linden where 4 of our 5 red light cameras are on Route 1 and 9, and we are one of the only communities, if not the only community in the state of New Jersey, that has left-hand turns from across Route 1 and 9 across the 3 oncoming lanes of traffic. Most other communities, in fact, all the communities, have jug-handle turns for a left-hand turn. Ours is a left-hand turn across 3 lanes of oncoming traffic. Our accidents and fatalities have been down considerably. For the last 3 years, we've had those red light cameras. So they are definitely doing a major safety improvement for the city of Linden, and I'm a supporter of the red light cameras. And as I tell everybody who gets a ticket, if you don't violate the law, you could get even by the city of Linden by driving safely and not violating the law. You won't get a ticket, and you won't have to pay a fine. Also, I'd like to mention that tomorrow at about 2:30, I'm having a meeting in my office with Senator Menendez's staff. I'm very excited about this. We're going to be talking about grant money for the Social Justice Center that I'm trying to get developed on East St. George's Avenue with the vacant property, the 2 blocks of vacant property that the city of Linden owns. The area has a lot of vacant property. No developers want to spend money to develop in that neighborhood, which is between the railroad tracks and Advanced Auto Store. The city of Linden has 2 blocks of property. What I want to put there is a Linden Police Headquarters. We're in dire need of a new headquarters. To me, there's nothing more to revitalize a neighborhood than having police officers coming to and fro, sharing it with Roselle. Mayor Holly's anxious to share the courts with Roselle, not the police department, but the courts and OEM. And the whole issue boils down to money. We need money, and Senator Menendez has reached out. He's been a good friend of Linden. He's helped us considerably with our fire department, getting us $2.5 million in grant money, and I'll be talking to his staff, and hopefully he can make magic for the Linden Police Department and the city of Linden. So I'm looking forward to that meeting, and I thank Senator Menendez, and I think everybody should be aware of how hard he works for the city of Linden. I'd also like to mention, lastly, we had a tremendous success with the September to Remember last month. It's never been better and bigger than it was. It's a lot of people, it was all volunteers, a lot of people put in hard work, whether it be public property, whether it be OEM, whether it be the police department. But I do have to single out the one individual that made it all come together. She worked so hard for it, and it proved to be such a success, and that's the president of the Cultural Committee, Gretchen Hickey. And Gretchen, I applaud you for your hard work and efforts. And lastly, I'd just like to bring to everybody's attention, a couple of weeks ago, I went to Jersey City in a professional media studio, and they taped about a half hour of a promotion with me talking about the city of Linden in this studio. And I think it came over very well. It showed how vibrant the city is. It showed our rebirth with the different projects that are coming forward that'll be able to give relief, tax relief to the residential property owners once we get more revenue coming in from the businesses and industry. So I would suggest, if you have Comcast, and that's the only facility you could watch it on, is going to be on channel 190 on Comcast on October 22nd and October 29th at 6 p.m. Again, channel 190, the 22nd and the 29th at 6 p.m. I think you'll find it interesting and a little amusing. End of report, Council President.
Thank you, Mayor Gabunka. We'll move into resolutions 2014-365 through 2014-396. Public comments will be permitted for those specific resolutions to be removed from the consent approval. Please read the synopsis of the resolutions, which have been prepared by the City Clerk's office. Each is informative and self-explanatory. However, if you wish to address a specific resolution, the council will entertain questions on it. Does anyone on my right wish to remove any resolutions from 365 through 396? Yes. 370? 385. In the center? On my left? Yes? 383? 389? 391? 396. Motion on the remainder, please.
Mr. Council President, I make a motion to approve resolutions 2014-365 through 2014-396 with the exceptions of 370, 383, 385, 389, 391, and 396, and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
No on 365, yes to the rest.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichinko?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes, abstain on 365 and 394.
Medina,
Yes, but no on 372.
Kozinski,
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. 370, Mrs. Wolferdink?
Diane Wilferding, 6th Ward. I just wanted a little more explanation about what this monitoring is for the emergency response service. I don't understand where it says 200 units. Can someone explain it a little more?
Ms. Sackett? Mayor?
That's our emergency alert system where they work in concert with the public properties to encourage the safety of senior citizens.
So it's alerts sent out, or what? I don't understand what it means, the 200 units.
Yeah, they wear, it like you see on
Oh,
TV.
those
Help
life
me, I've
alert
fallen.
things. I got
Okay.
it. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Motion, please.
Mr. Council President, I make a motion on 2014-370 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus.
Yes.
Byer.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Crosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Medichinko.
Yes.
Yemakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Kozinski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. Mr. Anderson on 384? 383.
Michael Anderson, 9th Ward, 350 Rosewood. Just have a quick question about this. Is this the municipal complex? Is that what this is referencing?
Mr. Furchick?
I didn't hear the question.
Is this the municipal complex, the one that the mayor was talking about, the social justice complex?
383?
Yeah.
No, that's the Hawk Rise.
Okay, never mind then. Thank you.
Motion, please.
Mr. Council President, I move Resolution 2014-383 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus.
Yes.
Byer.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Crosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Medichinko.
Yes.
Yemakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Kozinski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. Mr. Wilverdink, please, on 385.
I wanted to ask about with the fixing the roof here on City Hall. Didn't we do that about 5 years ago when we renovated this? I just remember something being done about one roof. Wasn't it City Hall that was done?
No. Oh, Council President?
Council President.
Mr. Brown?
Yeah. No, it wasn't a roof, and this actually came under what we bidded for, or expected it. But no, this roof hasn't been replaced in decades.
We
to an
fixed
extent.
a roof not
I
too
think
long
you're talking
ago.
about maybe within the court.
May I,
We're talking about-
Mr. Mayor?
No. It's me. What happened was when we did the work in this chambers, there's HVAC equipment on the roof above us, and channels and panels were put in to carry away any water that may leak through because of those, and to keep the ceiling and the surrounding walls dry. It wasn't work on the roof, though.
Oh, okay. Because did we do something on the recreation center? A roof on that recent? No. So neither roofs have been worked on in a while. Maybe that's what I was thinking about, because I swear I thought we worked on this not too long ago. But all right, thank you.
Thank you. May I have a motion, please?
I make a motion on Resolution 2014-385 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus.
Yes.
Byer.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Crosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Medichinko.
Yes.
Yemakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Kozinski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. Mr. Anderson on 388? 389.
I'm just wondering, this seems like a short-term fix to the problem. Have we looked into the viability of making this like a long-term contract with them? And are they planning on doing the picking up, or are we still doing the picking up in regards to this? Are we just dropping off the animals there? There doesn't seem to be a lot of details other than the prices associated with it.
Council President?
Councilwoman Yamakaitis?
Yes, this is a temporary contract till the end of the year. We're still looking to go out to bid for next year. So this is only till the end of the year.
Okay. The other thing is are they picking up in the other cities that we have contracts with as well?
We have to honor those contracts, so that this will include.
Okay, so then it's possible that we go beyond the 20,000 since it's only about 160 dogs or so before we break 20,000?
That we should fall below that even.
Okay.
Okay.
I just think that we need to look into a more long-term fix, something possibly with a nonprofit, so.
We are
Okay.
still continuing in that direction.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Motion, please?
I'd like to make a motion on Resolution 2014-389 and seek a second.
Second. Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Mr. Anderson, 391?
I know that we had an issue before with the county not paying their share. They were paying part of the maintenance of it, but they weren't paying for, I believe it was the time that the officers were spending. I'm not quite clear on what it was, but I know that the county is taking a large portion, I believe half of our income from this. And if the county is supposed to be putting up their half as well, I think that we need to focus on making sure that the next resolution that we put forward includes that the county has to put in their share 100%. So, or their 50%, I should be more specific on that.
Mr. Mayor, have any comments on that?
Yes, that was an issue that was resolved. By law, the county is entitled to a certain amount of money, and we have to pay it as long as it's on a county road. And most of our, I'd say 4 out of 5 are on a county road. So they are getting a share of the revenue, but that issue was resolved 2 years ago at least. But by law, we have to give them a certain percentage.
Okay.
Thank you. May I have a motion, please?
I'd like to make a motion on Resolution 2014-391 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. On 396, Mr. Anderson?
It's the last one. Promise. I'm just wondering what this ad hoc committee is and its purpose, if anybody can enlighten us.
Councilman Brown, can you inform us on that?
Yeah, in our form of government, we have, just like we have departments, we also have committees that meet on a monthly basis to go over the activity in a department and other things of that nature. This is one of the only departments that does not have a committee. Many times we hear residents come up, ask questions why we're appropriating more money for law firms like we did today, things like that. So I think it was last year the mayor brought up a report called the Boxer Report that made some suggestions as far as looking at legal bills and things of that nature to see how on ways to save money. So by creating this ad hoc committee, we're hoping to get more involved in seeing how we can save some money and put it in line with other departments that we have committees on.
Okay, sounds great. Is this going to be a permanent or just a
That's the
part-time?
goal.
What?
That's the goal. By doing an ad hoc committee now, we can start work with the council
Immediately.
president's approval tomorrow.
Got it.
Making it a standing committee, we're going to need 2 readings, just like any other ordinance.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you. Motion, please?
I make a motion on Resolution 2014-396 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. And at this point, I'm appointing Councilman Brown as chairman of the committee. We'll move into ordinance on first readings, 5865.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $133,100 for the installation of traffic signals and related traffic improvements for the police department, and authorizing the issuance of $126,445 in bonds or notes for financing part of the cost.
Any members of the public wish to make comments? Ask for a motion.
Council President, make a motion for the introduction of ordinance 58-65 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colubus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minorchenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kozinski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Deputy Clerk, 5866, please.
Bond ordinance amending bond ordinance number 5827, finally adopted on May 20th, 2014, relative to the acquisition and installation of a gas generator for City Hall.
Members in the audience, comments? Motion, please.
I move ordinance 5866 for introduction and ask for a second. Tom?
Second.
Second.
Mr. Colubus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minorchenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kozinski? Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5867, please.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 10, Building and Housing, Section 10-19, fees shall be amended and supplemented as follows. Delete Section 10-19.11, fees in its entirety, and add new Section 10-19.11, fees.
Comments from members of the public? Motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to introduce ordinance 58-67 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colubus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minorchenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kozinski? Mr. Moore?
Yes. He's excused for a moment. 5868, please.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7 Traffic, Section 7-33, Handicap Parking Regulations, 7-33.1A, Handicap Parking on Street shall be amended as follows. Add 510 Roselle Street.
Comments from members in the public? Motion, please.
Council President, I ask for a motion to introduce ordinance 58-68 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colubus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minorchenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
5869 has been removed from consideration. So we'll move into 5870.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7 Traffic, Section 7-22.1, four-way stop intersection shall be amended as follows. Add DeWitt Terrace and Edgewood Road, DeWitt Terrace and Fernwood Terrace, DeWitt Terrace and Princeton Road, Orchard Terrace and Edgewood Road, Orchard Terrace and Fernwood Terrace, Dill Avenue and Adams Street.
Comments from members of the public? Motion, please.
Yes, Council President, I make a motion for the introduction of 58-70 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colubus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minorchenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Move into comments from members of the public in attendance on city business only. No personal, political, or derogatory comments, not to exceed 5 minutes. Everybody get a chance to sign up. And I'll call up Kurt and Steve Plummer from Clinton Street and West Elm.
That's for you, bro.
Come on, at the same time.
That's for you.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Steve Plummer on 1901 Clinton Street. I'd like to present an award.
Can you speak into the mic, please?
I'd like to present an award to Adam Kaczynski for his help and dedication in our 9U travel baseball team.
I think it's a complete surprise to the councilman. Congratulations, Councilman. Sure.
I just have to say, wow, thank you so much, guys. This means a lot to me. And you know that I'm usually one that can talk a lot. If you guys ever heard me talk, I can talk a lot. I'm speechless right now. And it's because of your efforts. It's because of your dedication, you guys. All right, so stay with this. Stay good. Win or lose, doesn't matter. Have fun. Listen to your coaches. And you guys are going to do great for Linden. Thank you again, guys, very much.
Millie Tayo, 114 East Munster Avenue.
Check, check. Keep going.
How about Gretchen Hickey?
Good evening, everyone. Gretchen Hickey, President of the Cultural Committee. As the mayor said, September to Remember this year was a huge, huge success. We had, the weather, of course, helped, but there's people I do always need to thank publicly, because if it wasn't without them, it wouldn't have been possible. Tony Copland from our Recreation Department, I have to give a huge shout out for him. There's so many details involved in running that street festival beyond imagination until you host one. Tony marked off parking spots, the recreation, the sound system, the recreation guys that helped were just amazing. A special thank you to Chief Schulhafer, the police, and the OEM. I don't always feel, and it's not because my brothers are on OEM and they volunteer their time, but the OEM, under the direction of Captain Hart and and Sergeant Chabak, and also Joe Stigliano, is just amazing. Anything I need, whether it's somebody to walk into a crowd and break them up, or any kind of issues I have, they are an amazing group of guys that truly, really, really care about our city, and I can't thank them enough. Our sponsors, Phillips 66, Northfield Bank, Denval Realty, Linden Housing Corp., and there's Amici's and Metro Liquors. I really do encourage everybody to support the businesses that always support our community. I've noticed this year it's a lot harder because so many businesses are hit up so many times, and they still get involved and work with us. I also would like to let everyone know, this is a little, and Public Works, of course, oh my gosh, their cleanup, they're like a tornado that comes down the street and just does amazing things. And of course, the committee that helped that day, they were all very amazing. The Linden Cultural Committee just recently had a meeting, and last year we started where we had a house contest with decorating for the holidays. We just went into it a little bit, but it was a big success. We were discussing at our last meeting that we were hoping to make it bigger. I've already spoke to a couple companies, Sam's Club, Motion Credit Union. They're willing to get involved and be sponsors, but I'd also like the council to get involved too, and that we make it bigger and go by ward. Looking for a name, we're looking for an appropriate name to carry on a tradition. We are all willing to work on the sponsorships, and of course, any help that's needed in the wards, but I think it would be a really nice thing for the community. Mayor, also our Christmas tree, our holiday tree lighting is Friday, December 5th, I believe. We are going to make it a little earlier at 6 p.m., and we are hoping to switch things up a little bit. We're pending on the weather. We would really like to celebrate this night at the promenade, but that will be all weather pending. I do work well under pressure, so I will have a plan A and a plan B with my committee as to where we have it that night. We'll be setting up for singers and different things. It won't just be donuts this year, I promise that. Mayor, I would like to thank you for your kind words. It meant a lot after seeing some of the things I saw on Sunday. Thank you, because my heart and soul is into doing good things in the community, and what the public was reading this weekend was awful. But I do have to thank you for standing up and singling me out on the work that I do in the community. It is appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Judy England McCarthy, please.
Council President?
Oh, I'm sorry. Councilman Brown, you had a comment?
Yeah, I'm sorry. We've all congratulated Gretchen except for me. No, but I think it is important for residents to know. I know sometimes we're repetitive on council. Something disturbing, in my opinion, came out on Saturday, and it kind of got me upset because a lot of people don't know. Even when I'm in City Hall, I've seen Gretchen come in. She's bringing in checks, and the amount of time and effort that Gretchen has put into this, and the success that September to remember, I think sometimes you take it for granted. You know, Gretchen, just like many of us, has a family. She has a personal life. She works. She does a lot of other stuff, and she didn't get paid a dime out of this. And for this event to go through without a hiccup and be bigger than it was last year, and the sheer dedication that she's shown and the hard effort she put into this should not go unnoticed. Like I said, I know we could be repetitive sometimes on council, but to me, that's amazing. And just like other people who volunteered their time to the city, Gretchen, I mean, I just don't know where she's gotten this energy, the time to do this type of event where she put it together. She was so involved, didn't get paid for it, and I just want to say thank you. You know, hopefully we have you next year to run this event. You know, again, I'm personally upset about some of the stuff that was put out there, but nevertheless, you know, I think we all on council know the work that you've done. It showed on September, remember, that you did this good, and I just want to say thank you.
Thank you for those comments. Judy England McCarthy.
In June of this year, my 16-year-old son's iPod was stolen from a City of Linden's van while he was working for Linden through a grant program. On October 17, 2014, the Commission of Insurance decided that they would reimburse my son for his stolen iPod, minus the cost of depreciation. After meeting with the committee and providing them with the given circumstances in detail, I had hoped that they would act in accordance with doing the morally right thing. Clearly, I was not mistaken in my government-appointed officials. Though the theft of the object will long be forgotten, it is my hope that my son will see that though the wheels of justice may move slowly, they are moving in a direction that considers the intent behind the rules and laws. I am heartened that the committee did what I believe to be the right course of action in this particular situation. My belief that our system works is still firmly intact, and I, for one, am truly grateful. As a tax-paying constituent of this city for more than 20 years, it is good to see that the city's appointed officials have not lost touch with an average citizen's plight and follow their conscience. So often we take the time to complain and criticize our government and are unwilling to recognize them in a public forum for taking the higher course of action. That is why I came here today, to ensure you and the City Council and the citizens of Linden are aware that your officials are looking out for them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Diane Wilvernick.
Hi, Diane Wolverding, President of the Library Board. I just wanted to speak about an opportunity that, unfortunately, Councilman Kaczynski, they might not have told you about this part. We have a very active and hardworking Friends of the Library group. Unfortunately, 2 of them now need surgery, so the board is jumping in to help, and we usually always help participate in the fundraisers. They did a series of eating out at restaurants, and we got a percentage. So I wanted to tell you about this item. It is a 50-50, a very large 50-50, and I happen to have tickets with me. And I wanted to tell everyone the opportunity here. I don't want people in the back, Mr. Bodak, the table over there, to be left out. I mean, I am all-inclusive. Everyone up here can buy a ticket. It's a big 50-50. It's going to be pulled on December 1st. It's $10. You are not limited to one ticket. If you want more than one ticket, that would be great. Now, I'm not trying to do a competition, but I have to say, the left side over here of the diocese, they already bought their tickets. And, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Sadowski.
Councilman Sadowski.
And besides me selling, if unfortunately you don't have the money with you tonight, we also have Marilyn Copland on the library board, and guess what? She's in the City Hall 3 days a week. But again, opportunity tonight, I can sell you a ticket. Thank you.
Thank you for those comments. Paul Sharpie?
I'm Paul Sharpie. I reside at 315 Second Avenue and also part of the Sharpie Kennedy Foundation. And it's another year again, another 4 years. I've lived here since July 1st, 1994, when I officially became a resident of the city of Linden, New Jersey. July 5th is when I married my wife, and I came here. I moved here in 1977. I bought a business over in Elizabeth, but I've always been part of the Sharpie Kennedy Foundation. And the city is in a transitional stage right now. We have a vision for the future. You know, Robert Kennedy had a vision back in 1963 that one day there'll be an Afro-American president. 6 years ago, that happened. And John had a plan to go to the moon, and that happened. Now, we have Robert's grandson in Congress again. And we're never done with the Kennedys or the Sharpies, okay? And my vision for this town is to move forward. I seen the council meeting last night. They don't want the oil pipeline to go through, which would bring like $200,000 here to this city. They don't want a Wawa. They don't want a senior citizens building. The only thing got to lower the track. You know, this is what goes on in closed council meetings, back in the back. This is what we go through with this. You just don't see it public. But I have a vision that we must change. County-wise, since 1990, our taxes have constantly gone up. Same 9 people doing the same thing. I think we need change all the way around. We need change to the future. Let's bring the city forward and move. Let's get big, like the parking authority. The city was supposed to buy a parking authority, you know, to move the city forward. And to get a new school in that building over there. No, it was turned down. We don't need a parking authority. We want to be the same old, back in the 1950s, living here in Linden. So I hope when you vote. And another thing, for 3 years, Mr. Moore had a challenge that he does represent the whole city. He's like a deputy mayor here. You know, his council members decided that, oh, we're going to fight him. Well, he's the deputy mayor in some governments. If the mayor's absent, the deputy right there takes over. And if we fought in court and your taxpayer money went for 3 years of this man's term, you know, let's move the city forward. November 4th, you'll make that decision. Citizens, I hope you change. That's it.
Thank you. John Francis Roman. Jacqueline Williams.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Mayor, City Council members.
Good evening.
Council President. I just wanted to come here and make an announcement. Most of you have heard this before. Some of you may not know that I am the Union County Director for Little Sisters in the Know. It is a book club and an organization all in one that teaches young girls leadership skills, self-esteem, confidence, and cultural awareness. It is that time for us to recruit these young girls again, get them interested in reading, promote literacy amongst our youth. And I am making this announcement to encourage the parents to excite the children about books, excite them about reading, open them up to a whole new world. We have an open field of membership. Again, it started in September and it runs until July. There is a membership fee, which you can email me about, and I will let you know about that. Just so you know, there was a good friend of mine who recently passed away in Roselle. It was the 3rd Ward Councilman Randy Sandifer. Prior to his death, he donated $200 to the organization, which will cover basically like a scholarship for at least 4 girls, and he did that in memory of his 4 daughters. So the first 4 girls who sign up for the book club, you will be granted a free membership. You will get a t-shirt and a tote bag. Again, the email address where you can reach me is L as in Larry, S as in Sam, K as in Kid, Union County, which is all one word, .org@gmail.com. I noticed something really interesting this evening, and I was debating on whether or not to comment on it. As I said before, my name is Jacqueline Williams, and I just didn't want it to be confused with the Jacqueline Williams that was just recently hired as a clerk in the police department. You know, even though it's election time and many of you know that I am a candidate, just know that that is not me, and it's a real cute political trick, I think, and I'm sure you all have searched high and low to find someone by the name of Jacqueline Williams. So you all have a good evening, and thank you so much.
Mr. Mack, Henry Mack.
It's just dumb. I wanted to clarify, Council President.
Can we clarify that, please?
Yes, that Jacqueline Williams was laid off.
Whoa. He didn't give you permission to speak? Can I clarify?
It's self-explanatory.
It's really not.
It's not, yeah. I have a problem with that.
May I? Real quick.
No. Mr. Mack, you have the floor.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. President of City Council, and members of City Council, I respectfully appear before you, and I must first ask for permission to speak, if you will, Mr. President. Thank you.
Oh, you have to speak into the microphone.
You may have permission to speak, sir.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. President of City Council, and I must include the Chief of Police in my address for the peoples. I come kindly on behalf of the peoples, kindly and humble and submissive. The peoples, I didn't say it, the people said it. Mr. Peter Brown, it was brought to my attention over the last 6 months, and I know you're aware of it, and Public Service has brought it to my attention that they cannot get through Elizabeth Avenue because we have a problem with that traffic light on Elizabeth Avenue and Wood Avenue. And the people's told me to bring to your kind attention, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Peter Brown, the people said, I didn't say it. They're a little bit tired from Associates Auto Parts. We can't get through up here. When they get to 430, we know what the problem with them lights. We know that there's a problem down there. We've been doing it for over a year. Am I right about that? And am I talking right? We send an officer down there, chief sent an officer down there on a daily basis to try to control that. But it's not being controlled, Mr. Peter Brown. It's not being controlled. Buses is late. Young ladies can't go get their kids because their buses can't get through there because the traffic is backed up damn near. Oh, excuse me, I humble myself. To Elizabeth Avenue, down to Roselle Street to get up here, Mr. Peter Brown. I've talked to you personally about that, and you know about it. Why can't we fix that problem? Why?
Mr. Brown.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Mack.
Yeah.
Last year, the county approved money appropriated for a traffic study to be done. As of this today, last week, almost for the last month, I've been asking for the results of that traffic study. The point of that traffic study, which was supposed to be the results were supposed to be done in March, was to find ways to improve the traffic flow, not just on East Elizabeth, but then also down Wood Avenue as well, to improve the safety, to increase, to improve the traffic flow. We're still waiting for the county for those numbers and for that traffic report, which again, was supposed to be done since March. So we're working with the county to improve that intersection, but other than that, our hands are tied at this point. I've contacted the county, done emails for things like improving the crosswalks. We've installed some countdown timers there. But again, those are county roads, which we're waiting for their report to come back. We can only push so far. I know personally, I've seen the emails where the lieutenant in the traffic bureau has been emailing the county for the results of that traffic study, which again was supposed to be submitted back to the county and then sent over to us since March.
You're absolutely right. That's why the people said they're getting a little bit tired. And I'm thinking in terms of humanity and the people. When a young lady got to go get her daughter or her son from daycare, and they charging her extra amount of dollars because she's late, and we can't move that traffic, and when we know what the problem is. I want to thank the mayor and the chief of police. They have put an officer down there. Then why can't we shut that light down and let him use his good judgment? That's why he was hired. According to, he was hired to use his good judgment. Since the light ain't working right, the light changes when they get ready to change. You hear me? You hear me?
So you're saying shut down the traffic light?
No. Shut the traffic light down and let the officer use his intelligence, his wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Let me move this traffic from point A to point B.
1 minute, sir. 1 minute.
I got 1 more minute?
Yes, sir.
Are you kidding? Oh, thank you. Mr. Chief, we want to thank you for your kind cooperation in the city of Linden that you expedite through your city our deceased brothers and sisters from one destination to another. We want to thank you. We thank you for that. The people's told me to tell you, I didn't say it, the people said it. Let's straighten the situation out on Wood Avenue, Elizabeth Avenue. I'm sure that you intelligent people, you're the one that represent this area. Let's move them people in a better manner. And I know you guys can sit down at the round table. I didn't say the long table. We're at the long table tonight. But at the round table and fix it. It needs to be fixed, Mr. Mayor. It needs to be fixed, Mr. Mayor. We are calling people an economical inability.
Thank you, sir.
Watch it.
Council President.
Thank you, sir.
Are you telling me I got to stop?
Yeah, time's up. The following
Council
council
President.
meetings will be as follows.
Council President.
Councilwoman Cosby Hurley, you have a comment?
I do have a comment. Thank you, Mr. Mack. You always bring what the people want to the council, so we appreciate you for coming. But I just wanted to address what Jacqueline D. Williams said, which is ironic because the person who you are complaining about has your lawn sign, and you don't even know who she is.
Whoa,
And
off topic here.
it's just sad that you thought it was a political stunt. You can't run for office and work for the city either way, so.
Councilwoman. The following council meetings will be as follows. Council conference meeting Monday, November 10th, 2014 at 6 p.m. in the council conference room, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council conference meeting prior to the council meeting Tuesday, November 11th, 2014 at 6 p.m. in the council conference room, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council meeting Tuesday, November 11th, 2014 at 7 p.m. in the council conference chambers, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Ask for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
No.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Medichenko?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Good evening, everyone.
Make a motion to table.